Tonight's mail opening is accompanied by an opening of Juice of the Oats Oatmeal Stout from Oxus Brewing in Winnipeg. They describe it as an easy drinking dark ale with the aroma of coffee and chocolate. You would think that after doing 120 of these mailbags, I would remember when to turn the camera on and when not to. So, I opened this, which is a spudger, a really, really thin spudger, 0.11 millimeters. That is super duper thin, very flexible. I guess that would be for, getting in around little corners where glued down stuff is. If you push on it this way, especially if you're holding it there, it can be fairly stiff and it can get into some very skinny places. And it looks like it can, I don't know, what would those weaves be good for? Just poking into little corners and stuff? I don't know. Let's go take a look at the listing. Hopefully I did that right when I recorded it. 2 pieces, ultra thin spudger, soft LCD screen repair pry opening tool for cell phone. Got this from HMPC 2005. I didn't pay shipping for it. It appears that they've changed the listing. I also didn't pay $9.97 Canadian for it. I paid $3.49 American, which is about half that much. And I only got one of them in the package. You bastards. So they call it a 0.01 millimeter. It's actually 0.1 millimeters thick. Stainless steel, ultra thin. Yeah, okay. Stainless steel, maybe. I don't believe them for anything anymore. Though that is the shape of it. And the one that I've got doesn't have all this laser etching on it. It's just got that thing there, the logo on it. So I'll have to have words with these guys if it's not been so long that I'm outside of the complaints window. We'll see. Next biggest one, it says open pry card. That sounds like yet another spudger. And it is exactly that. This is another one that says it's 0.1 millimeters thick, and it definitely feels like that. Screen disassembler curved. Okay, again, just for getting into thin, skinny little places. Right, I'll add that to the collection, and let's see how much this one cost. Mobile phone curved LCD screen spudger, open pry card tools, ultra thin, flexible. Got this one from, oh my goodness, Jiang Aiping 1982. Okay. $2.40, which is what I paid in Canadian funds, and 86 cents shipping. I don't remember. I looked back through the details and I didn't see myself paying that shipping on this one, so it must have changed since I bought it, as so many of these things do. Not too much of a description down here, just more pictures of them using it to gently pry away inside a phone. That might be alright though, for getting around weird curvy bits. Spring steel they call it, not stainless steel. 0.1 millimeters, which is what it actually is. Okay. Good toughness, easy to rebound in bending. And then a whole bunch of badly translated stuff. I was kind of hoping all these spudgers would be spread out a little bit over a few more weeks, but whatever. Let's see if this is another spudger. This one doesn't have a customs declaration. It was shipped from a warehouse in Canada. Oh, it's a bunch of, looks like DC to DC converters based on the LM2596. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. These are DC to DC converters. Now, I don't remember off the top of my head if these are boost or buck, but I guess we could just quickly try them before, rather than resorting to just checking the listing immediately. All right, there is 8 volts on the input, and let's see what happens when we adjust that. Nothing when I go that way. 7. Okay, looks like it's a buck converter then. All right, so that is, looks like 5 buck converters. Nice. Let's see what I paid for them. 1 times new LM2596 HV, LM2596S DC to DC step down, constant current, constant voltage, adjustable power supply module. Got these from Otaku-10. Currently they are selling them for $1.30 each American or $1.62 Canadian with $2.50 shipping. It was free shipping again back when I bought them. So they describe this as constant current, constant voltage, even though it's only got a voltage adjustment on it. It isn't constant current, it's just constant voltage. But again, I knew that going in. I could tell from the picture that it only had the one pot. Anyways, input voltage between 4.5 and 35 volts, output between 1 1/4 and 26 volts based on those. So about 3 and a bit volts drop, 3.5 volts drop across the device. Okay. And it keeps talking about different current limits. 2.5 normally, 3 with 3 amps with a heat sink on it. That's not surprising. I tend to not use these for super high current loads. I think the most recent one that I used was probably just powering the extra illumination on my 3D printer, just to take it down to whatever I needed for the LED strips, 5 volts I think, from a 12 volt supply, something like that. Anyway, they're just a handy thing to have around, and this seemed like a pretty good price, especially back when it was free shipping. Okay, next in says it is a converter. Oh, USB RJ45 extension adapter. So if this is what I think it is, this allows you to use basically Ethernet cable, just the wire. It's not connected to actual Ethernet, but just to use whatever Ethernet cable you have to extend a USB to another room or over some distance, I guess. There is something I'm going to have to play with. Because normally USB has a bit of a distance limit. I'll have to go and look it up, but you can't go forever. But most buildings these days, especially commercial buildings, but a lot of houses have Ethernet Cat 5 or Cat 6 cable run around the building from room to room. So if you wanted to hook up, I don't know, a USB webcam or USB audio interface or something in a different room, then that would be a fairly straightforward way to do it. If it works. Guess what I'm going to be doing in an upcoming video? This was an auction item. Excellent. USB extension Ethernet RJ45 Cat 5e Cat 6 cable LAN adapter extender over repeater set. Now this is from Cool Man Love It 2020. At auction, as I said, for the princely sum of $1.81 Canadian with free shipping. Woohoo! The downside is they're USB 2.0. The upside is that's good enough for a lot of things. USB 2.0 male to RJ45 interface. The other cable is USB 2.0 female to RJ45. This thing claims to be able to extend your USB device up to 150 feet away. Wow. As opposed to, what does it say up here? 1.5 meters, 5 feet for normal USB. I've had them go further than that. I've had them go 3 or 4 meters without having to use a hub, a powered hub to regenerate signal. But still, that's pretty impressive if it works. Obviously, I'm going to have to tear it apart, take a look inside it, and give it some testing. Coming soon to a YouTube channel near you. And the last and largest package. This one is not as much of a surprise as a lot of them because I recognize who it came from. This package came from biopie.ca. They are one of the more affordable Canadian sellers of Raspberry Pi stuff. And I'm hoping that this is, yes, it is a Raspberry Pi 3 Model B+. And, since I was paying the shipping anyway, a Pi Pico. At the time I ordered these, I didn't realize I was going to be getting a couple of Pi Picos from sponsors. So, now I think I've got 3 of them. I'm going to have to actually dive into these and see if I can come up with some interesting things to do with them that 100 other people haven't already done on YouTube. But the main reason for this purchase was to get a Pi 3. a little bit more powerful Pi than the ones I already have. And the ones that I already have are the 0W, which I'm currently using against recommendations with Octoprint on my 3D printer. And I have an old Model 1, I think. Very, very old one. Technically belongs to my son, which I had been using just for a home theater PC with Kodi on it. But it's gotten really, really slow and sluggish. So I think this guy's going to go with the 3D printer with Octopi on it. And then the B Plus is, no, the, what is the other one? The 0W is going to be relegated to home theater PC duties. I'm assuming most of the people watching this channel know what a Raspberry Pi is, but for the couple of you that may not be familiar with it, this is a single board computer. This little guy has 4 USB ports. It has wired Ethernet. It has HDMI, audio. That USB is a power jack. This is a camera connection, and I think I've got a Pi camera around here somewhere. Matter of fact, I know I do. And this is a display for putting a TFT or LCD display on it. Probably something very similar to the display on Dustin's Free Touch deck here, or this kind of a form factor, or something like that, right? But in my case, that's not what I'm doing with it, at least initially. It's going to be going just into a 3D printed case and will accompany my 3D printer. Raspberry Pi 3 Model B Plus. This is a legacy one. This is not the current model, but they're still available. And yeah, this is what Raspberry Pis go for in Canada, $48.95. That is what I paid plus shipping. Oh, it's currently out of stock. Well, okay. I'll link to it anyway. You can browse around the website. And the Raspberry Pi Pico, $5.25 Canadian. Again, it's touted as like a $2 microcontroller, but that's $2 US in the United States plus shipping. So that's just the situation. Oh, they are back in stock now. They were in and out of stock quite a bit. I just happened to luck out when I ordered them that they happened to have some in stock. So yeah, there we go. So that is a microcontroller in the same way that the Arduino or the STM32s or the ESP8266 or ESP32 are microcontrollers. This one doesn't have all the fancy Wi-Fi and everything else on it, but it is quite a powerful little unit. And one of these days I'll get around to actually playing with them. So there we go. Another Mailbag Monday wrapped up. Quickly, the shipping times, the Spudgers each took 33 days to get here. These buck converters took 26 days, and this also took 26 days to get here. Okay. And the two Raspberry Pis, because they came from within Canada from a Canadian seller, they took about 10 days to get here, which is fairly typical for parcel post across Canada. What else is there to say? Thanks for watching, everybody. As usual, thank you to my Patreon supporters for helping me keep the mailbags rolling in and buying me a beer or two. Questions and comments down below in the comment section. I'm sure there are people that have things to say about this, as usual. Yeah, thanks for watching. I will talk to you later.